Good morning, guys.
Today we're going to someplace very special, and to get there we're going to be walking across the river on a bridge. So this bridge is newer, and it's not as kind of classic as the other one, but it's still a walking bridge going over the river. And when we get to the other side, we'll let you know about where we're going. So stay with us. I think you're going to enjoy today's video. Oh, beautiful. Today we're going to be going to a very special ashram. When we get there, we'll talk more about it. Back in the early 1960s, Rishikesh was a small town that was probably hardly on the map. It had a few temples and a small population. There may be the local monk population and some beautiful temples here. There wasn't much. In the 1960s, a man named Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of the Transcendental Meditation or TM movement, built an ashram here. And in the winter of 1968, some very, very well-known people showed up at this ashram. They were already practicing Transcendental Meditation, but they wanted to spend more time with Maharishi, and they wanted to do deep, long meditations in India. Among those people, the Beatles, Donovan, Mike Love from the Beach Boys, Mia Farrow, famous actress who was once married to Frank Sinatra, and her younger sister, Prudence Farrow. And it was a big course. Some people were here to become teachers at TM. Some people, like the Beatles, were just here to be with Maharishi and practice longer meditations. Anyways, when they all showed up here, so did the press. And after that, Rishikesh exploded, became known as the yoga capital of the world. There's so many yoga ashrams here, meditation ashrams. But the thing that started it was Maharishi's ashram. We've been here once before, and I can't wait to go inside again. We'll show you some of the things, the graffiti, and now I hear there's a new picture display here of what it was like back in the 60s with the Beatles here. One more thing, a lot of people call this the Beatles ashram, even though it's called Maharishi Mahesh Yogi Ashram, but the public knows this as the Beatles ashram. Who cares? Let's go in and have some fun and look at some really cool things. Basically almost a little city that they call an ashram, that's overgrown with forest in the 70s and 80s and 90s and left to just fall apart. But about 10 years ago, the state took over, and now this is basically a tourist area, and it's kind of cleaned up. You'll see the buildings are very old, and this place hasn't been used in the 70s. One last thing, we are actually in a tiger sanctuary. So tigers, probably at night, roam this area. So when we were here last time, there were a couple buildings I almost didn't want to go in because who knows what's in there. But we're going to roam around, and I think you're really going to love this tour. Notice it says Tiger Reserve. So these meditation caves were put together in the mid-70s when Maharishi came out with some advanced techniques for people who wanted to do long program. These caves weren't for course participants, these were for sannyasis and brahmacharis. These are people that have renounced the world and they lead a very monkish lifestyle. So in addition to his courses, he let these caves go for these type of people. So these are for long-term practitioners of meditation. And they're all over, there's 54 of them. Let's see what else there is. This housing here is where the pundits stayed. The pundits recite the Vedas, and Maharishi always had them on courses because TM comes from the Vedic tradition. So the pundits stayed here. Not sure how many there were, but this was pundit housing. This is the original dining hall. Notice that a tree has fallen in the middle of it. This is a lecture hall classroom that was built in the mid-70s. And when you go inside, it's just, again, an empty building, but you're gonna love the art and graffiti. Let's go. This is Rabbi Shankar, who is George Harrison's sitar teacher. This looks like it's George Harrison.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. So, great picture of the Beatles with Maharishi. Unfortunately, there's a big group here, so we're just going to show you pictures, but just enjoy the art and don't worry about all the chatter that's going on. Let's go over here. So this is a typical house for the course participants. I can't walk in because all these buildings are condemned, but I think one of these set of buildings is where the Beatles stayed. So we finally found the bungalow where the Beatles and the rest of the celebrities stayed. And outside you can see the Beatles composing songs in between their meditation practice. One last thing I'd like to say is when the Beatles were here, this was one of the most productive periods. I remember hearing that Maharishi told them, when you have time or when you're in meditation, think of songs, write songs. What happened, the product of that was the whole White Album was written here and part of Abbey Road was written here. So, and they were only here for a month. And I think Ringo left after a week. So during the time they were here, they were incredibly creative. And most people don't know that all those songs were written over here in Rishikesh. So here you see a sign. This is Maharishi's house, and if you look down the hill, you can see it overlooks the Ganges. Many times course participants came here and met personally with Maharishi during the course, and this is basically an open house for all meditators, but this is where he slept. And you can see movies where Maharishi and the Beatles walk down to the Ganges every day, and they used to walk down this hill and go to the river. So let's look at the house.
Look at this. You walk in the living room, come
Yeah.
out here, you see the pool here. You can walk down to the garden here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. And overlooks Rishikesh, which has just blossomed as a city since this was built. I'm sure back then that was all forest. But every night there would be lectures up here.
Darling, maybe we should build a house like this.
Anne wants to build a house like this. I guess we'll talk
I
about it.
like it. I like the layout.
Okay, we have a design in mind. So this is the biggest building for course participants. This actually housed hundreds of people. You can see it's 4 stories high. The upstairs is a big area up there also. So you can get a glimpse of the room. These buildings are getting really old and I think they might be condemned, so we're not going to walk in. But just imagine a simple room with a bathroom, and that's all they were. And they have this porch here too. So again, hundreds of people could stay here. And let's look at the next building. I think it's just like this, just to give you an idea how many rooms there were here. And here's another building just like the one we showed you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to walk up to the top of one of these so we get a good view of what this whole compound looks like. Let's walk up to the highest point and see the view. You can look up in the hills, and this is probably what this area was like. It's just dense jungle. There's no development around here, it's just jungle. So you can imagine what it was like back in the 60s. This place was very desolate. Okay, so now we're in, this is a lecture hall that was held every night. Masters from all over India used to come here and make presentations to the students here studying meditation, studying transcendental meditation. So you'll see some drawings here and stuff, but after we leave this room, I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool but kind of creepy. So let's look at this room for a while, and then I'm going to show you something else. So here's the eerie part. We're going to walk through a section here. They're like, I don't know, it's almost like little jail cells, but they're cells for sannyasis and renunciates to meditate. So while Maharishi was holding courses here, he also left this place open to sannyasis to meditate all throughout this whole ashram, just to keep the vibes high and I guess the energy high. So we're going to walk through here. It's a little eerie, but let's check it out. Here's a typical room for sannyasa. Ooh, there's a lot of eggs. I don't know what these things are. Okay. So there's a lot of bat poop in here. Oh, this room looks cleaner down here. And there's so many of these. It goes underground all around this amphitheater, room after room after room like this.
Basically, room for meditate.
Yeah, these are room for sannyasis. There's no toilet. There's anything. They probably went out in the woods. These are for people who literally spent most of their day in meditation. Very quiet. And there's those egg things that we've looked at. There's 54 of those. I think there's a lot more of these in this area. Let's walk down here just real quick. We'll see how far this goes. Room after room. It's kind of eerie because it's so dark down here. But again, this is for people who've left the world. They don't want to take care, they don't want to own anything in the world. All they want to do is reach God, reach enlightenment, which is such a big part of India and especially Hinduism. It just goes on and on. And that goes way down there. So I'd say in here there's probably 50 rooms. Not as many as I thought. But over here, some of these rooms are a little bigger. But
Okay, let's get out from here.
see, it's eerie. You want to get out of here, right?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw this, I wanted to get out of here. So it reminds me of some like medieval prison or something. Although none of these cells, they don't have doors.
It's only good energy in here.
I imagine if you were on a course practicing meditation a few hours a day and you were surrounded by sannyasis meditating all day, it would probably really lift the good feelings, good vibes here. Anyways, this is now condemned. You can't do anything except walk in the first floor. They have a picture gallery, and they also have a place where you can buy water and snacks. What we wanted to show you is a place where back in 1968, something really big happened. And not only did it make this city, because after 1968, Rishikesh grew very fast. It's now known as the yoga capital of the world. It didn't have any yoga here before then. This ashram actually brought all that. And also, it was a great time in the world. It was 1968. It was a wild, crazy decade. And this is where the Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, Prudence, her sister were, and all these people came together for one golden month in the winter of 1968. Hope you enjoyed it, and let us know what you think of this video. One last thing, if you are interested in learning more about TM, check out this video here. We did it in Bangkok about 1.5 years ago with a friend of ours.
That's another way to
We were
travel around.
We were on an auto rickshaw in Delhi. That's a person rickshaw, a person pulled rickshaw.
This is Saturday night market in Rishikesh.
Okay guys, after spending the day at Maharishi Ashram and the Beatles Ashram, where are we going to go? The Beatles Cafe, of course. This is our wind down night. Tomorrow we leave for Delhi. Let's go. The best thing about this cafe is the view, of course. We're overlooking the Ganga, and by the way, this is the last day we're going to get to see the Ganges on this trip, because tomorrow we go down to Delhi, and after that, someplace else, but not on the Ganga. So this is our last night of looking at the Ganges. Look at that moon. It's like a red moon. Incredible. So this place is a real popular lunch and dinner hangout. And people like coming here after hours, especially like dinner in here starts at 7:30. So they come 7:30 to about 9:30 when it's very crowded. And they come for the view, and they come for all the Beatles memorabilia you'll see on the wall. And great place to come. It's got a pretty good menu also. Anyways, we just wanted to come our last night because we walked by here many times, and after being at the Maharishi / Beatles Ashram today, we wanted to come in and commemorate the Beatles one more time. So Anne's getting some vegetable noodles and some chai, which we get almost every meal. And tonight I'm that hungry, so I'm getting lassi, banana lassi. Oh, that is good. Really good. Really thick. Tastes like banana. Naturally sweet. It's basically banana yogurt, and I guess that's it. It's kind of watered down yogurt with banana blended in. Very healthy for digestion and gut bacteria, and it tastes great. I try to have about 2 of these a day here. Excellent. It's almost a meal in itself. It was filling. Excellent. Anne's been talking about how great her noodles are, so now it's my turn. Oh, are they thick? These really are good. Just a little spicy, really filling, and there's vegetables mixed in. Really good sauce. Excellent. So guys, after 3 great days in Rishikesh, we love this city. It's the second time we've been here. It's grown a lot since we were last here, but we've just loved it and had a great time. So tomorrow, early morning, we are heading back down to Delhi, and we'll be in Delhi for a day or two, and then we're going somewhere else. So stay tuned, and
Don't forget to subscribe. Okay guys, see you in the next one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.